Ooh, the first live stream, considering it's like the middle of the day here in the UK, most people are going to be at work. So if you're watching this on a replay, I'm actually doing some maintenance in the realm. I've got 3 or 4 videos pre-recorded but unedited, and I got an extra day off work today. So rather than trying to edit one and push one out for you tonight like I would normally have on a Sunday, I've just popped up a live stream. Hello, I've just popped up a live stream here while I'm doing some general maintenance. Hi Darcy, so that I can talk to you guys rather than having to rush the video out today. So hello everyone that's joining. I will warn you now, I might not constantly be looking at the chat because I actually have quite a lot to do. So I'm going to be dotting between what I'm doing, talking, and then reading comments when I can. So please don't find me to be rude if I'm not replying to you or anything. It's because I am actually busy. Before I get down and dirty with what I'm doing, let me just explain. So I don't know how caught up you are in my videos, but today I've been clearing out some of the old vivariums ready for creating our communal setups. I'm not ready to actually start making those setups yet, but I wanted them cleared out. They had a lot of substrate in. Some of them still had spider silk in. Some of them had God knows what. It depends what I've kept in what enclosure, right? So I've already done 2 vivariums, and now I'm emptying out what was the coffee table enclosure. Now, this coffee table enclosure ended up failing. When I had it full of sand and we had the predatory beetles and things, it did really, really well. Then I changed it over to doing the fruit beetles and it failed. Now, that might be to do with lack of ventilation that's in this coffee table enclosure. I'm not sure, but they were all fed, they were all watered, it just failed. So what I'm actually going to be doing is clearing this out while I'm talking to you, and I'm not sure what to do with it yet. I'm probably no longer going to use it as an enclosure, and that is because of the ventilation issue, as well as now that there's enclosures stacked on it, I can't access it through the top or have much visual on it. So I'm thinking perhaps just making this an area or an additional area for my slings. So I'll put them in coffee table enclosure on maybe a tray, so I can pull the whole tray out and sort out all my slings on feeding day, rather than keeping them on the trolley that I have, just because when I wheel that trolley, sometimes they start to wobble and I don't want any slings to fall off. So that's kind of my thinking on what I might do with this one, and it's going to take quite a while to clear it out, so I thought I'd go live and speak to you. Yeah, you look like a man. Yes, I am allowed a beard at work now, which is why I have one. There are also house spiders living in here. I'm not scared of them, but when they do shoot out, I do get shocked and scream like a little girl sometimes, so bear that in mind. I've had house spiders living in here now for ages. I didn't put them in there, they just found this thing comfortable, I guess. But I'm trying to salvage some of the rotten white wood that was in here, because I've been quite heavily into isopods again, and there's no point wasting rotten white wood. So yeah, right, how to keep you entertained, what else to tell you? As I said, for these communals, for the vivariums, for the communals, I've got some ideas in mind. I'll run them by you now. They're not set in stone. I'm happy to have ideas chucked at me, but again, I'm not making my decisions now. But I've got a flatter Exoterra, and I'm thinking of doing the old, what quite a few people do, where they have their desert hairy scorpion living in there alongside perhaps the blue vein death beetles, and I want to look into anything else that's possible to live in that environment, even if it's something that will get eaten by the scorpion or whatnot. It doesn't really matter, as long as it can outbreed that, if you know what I mean. That is a lot of web. That was a lot of web. Yeah, so looking to do the desert hairy communal in that one, and I've put it on a shelf that can hold quite a lot of weight. And obviously sand is heavy. I'm going to have a very sandy environment, so we're going to look into things for that. That's one idea. One of my other vivariums we will be bringing back It's a good bit of rotten wood. We'll be bringing back the Guild of Assassins. So I'm growing up around 12 Horridor Assassin nymphs at the minute. I'm looking to get more, and we're going to have a really big return of the Guild of Assassins, but we're also going to have some other things living in there that are mostly prey items, so it doesn't matter that they get eaten. But again, we're going to look at something that can maybe outbreed how often they're eaten, providing I also feed the assassin bugs. If you see what I'm saying, there's a lot of thought to be put into that still yet, but I really want the return of my Guild of Assassins because I miss having assassin bugs. So, yes. Bear with me 2 seconds. Another idea that I've been having, I have actually discovered, I was going to do a video based on this, but I'll tell you guys now anyway, because a lot of people don't really rewatch lives. I've discovered the benefits of cockroach and isopod communal. So let me just explain. When I got my last batch of isopods last year, so not the batch I've been getting this year or the end of last year, the big batches I got before, one of them that I had was Armadillidium Klugi or Klugi clown isopods, the Slano variant. Now, I kept them for a good few months, and I turned 10 into around about 20, 25 isopods. I wasn't getting them to breed very fast, and my daughter wanted to add them to her hissing roach tank. And I thought, you know what, I'm not doing amazingly well with these guys, why not? So I said, look, they are starting to breed, but don't get upset if they fail. There's a few people that have actually had the odd issue with getting them to breed readily. Now, I gave her those a couple of months ago, and she's sitting on now at a complete guess, because I'm not counting them, but I would guess that she's got at least 300-400 in there. So combining these isopods with the hissing roaches, I'm guessing the isopods were eating the frass of the hissers, sharing the hissers' diets. Sorry, this is where one of the house spiders lived, so I'm just checking his web. He made some awesome web. We'll look into that later. Let's put that down there. Yeah, so I don't know if it was to do with eating the frass or what, but these isopods absolutely exploded, completely and utterly exploded in her tank. So I would quite like to do some very attractive or large roach species that are separate from hissers and keep them in with some isopods and see if we get the same results happen again. Because the substrate that she had for her hissers was my old isopod substrate blend, which is also what I have the Klugi in anyway. And so the only changes they've got are a much larger enclosure, although the one they were in was still large enough for the colony of their size. And then also the fact that they were living with roaches. There was no other difference whatsoever, and we just had them multiply like mad. So, yeah, sorry I'm not reading these comments. Where are we? That's okay. You can talk amongst yourselves. And hello everyone that's joined. So yeah, that's another idea. And one of the roach species I've been looking for a little while has actually cropped up on one of the UK sellers. But I haven't really got the funds to get them right now. And they're nymphs, so it would take a while to grow them on. But it's something I'll consider, definitely consider. What else can I update you on? Sorry, I'm being a bit cautious here. Don't want that spider just running around somewhere. Oh yeah, I'm doing a lot of decluttering, like today, where I'm emptying these old vivariums, old tanks. I've also done a hell of a lot of declutter, so I don't drive. My friend, as I said in a previous video, has donated me their shed for all like my old enclosures, some isopod supplies and things like that. And I've done, well, I don't know now, probably now I've done about 13 trips or so with bags full. Like I'm talking huge, like big bag for life things that are used for actually for clothes rather than groceries. And I've been walking them down there every day that I've got the spare time to do so. So we've got nearly a full 3 shelving racks, almost completely bare on the tops now. So to declutter the realm, which has been needed to be done for so long, has finally started to happen. And having that nicer environment keeps me happier, keeps me more motivated as well. Because when you're living in a room that's so easy to get messy, and a lot of the reason it's getting messy is because not only am I obviously constantly rehousing and doing animal maintenance, but also for the fact that I had so much just spare pots and things lying all over the place that I really didn't want to get rid of. For the fact that when I go to shows and things, you don't always know what you're going to pick up. Because I don't drive, I can't fill a car full of enclosures, for example, if I do get new things. So having these pots and things available is perfect for situations like that, or gifts that people get you that are unexpected, because they work excellent as temporary homes, which is why I really didn't want to just bin a lot of them. So decluttering has been a bit of a godsend to how I'm feeling about life lately. So that's nice, but I just want to get it done, and that's again why I'm on the live stream today instead of working on a video, so that I can explain to you guys what's going on and still carry on with my day off of doing further decluttering and preparing for the year. Because it's all good and well having plans through the year, but when you haven't got the time to make those initial starts, like clearing vivariums out and things like that, it puts you off, and you end up in this cycle then of never actually getting round to the things that you said you were going to do. So, and I'm sorry I'm just blabbering on, but you know, you don't feel free if you don't want to stay here. I've literally just put it on so that you're not missing out on no videos today. This is knackering now. Oh, James is here. Hello, James. And hello, everyone that has joined. Right, I need to carry on doing this. Yeah, as I said, just in case anyone's joined, I do apologise if I'm not answering questions. I am very busy. So, I haven't come across any of the house spiders yet, which means they're either still in that web nest that I've put down there, or I've accidentally binned them. And I am binning this substrate because when this thing failed, I did start chucking old bits of substrate in there as well, so some of it will have tarantula hair on and things that I don't really want to reuse it. Oh, that's a massive bit of wood. I'm keeping that. What a beast that is. Check this out. Bound to be something living in this one. Look at that. How freaking awesome is that? Forgot I ever had this piece because it's just been basically buried in there. That would definitely come in handy for one of our big communal setups. Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to mention as well. So in my video about these communal setups, about these free vivariums, I said, oh God, I'm making a mess. I said about Twitch streaming them, which is still going to be the case. But I have had a think, and I've decided to save myself the extra pressure of learning Twitch right now. I'm going to start practicing those live streams. Hello, just seen a spider. Practice those live streams just on here, just so that I can kind of get the angles right, and if I mess up, it's not so bad. We can have a laugh about it or whatever. Get that practiced on here, and it will also build up my view time. So with this new channel, we're not far away from the 1,000 subscribers that you need to earn, but we are still a good 3,500 hours away from me being able to earn through YouTube again. So having the live streams on here temporarily until we move to Switch will certainly help build up those view time hours, because live streams are excellent for building up view time. So that would be a benefit before we move to Twitch streaming, which is pretty cool. I want to say thank you as well to everyone that showed an interest in my ambition to fly through with isopods on the channel again. I know my old isopod videos never did particularly very well, but they're one of those things that do well later. So I upload them, they don't get the initial good views, and then later on they build up. And it's the same with the stick insects though. Like, that's my thing. But when I upload one, they don't sit on many views. But then you come back to them a year later and you realise how many views they ended up building in the end. And it tends to be my actual top videos, at least on the old channel, were all stick insect based videos. They just took a very long time to hit any kind of algorithm, I'm guessing. If you stream on here and Twitch, you can have flashy donation sounds. Yes, it'd be great. I still don't know much about Twitch. I've made my channel on there. I've had a little practice with the internet connection on there, and then I never went back to it. But I will do, because I've got a lot to learn. I've made a right mess of this. I can't actually see what I'm doing. Trying to think of what else I can tell you that's going on that isn't already been said in the already pre-recorded videos, because there's no point me telling you what I've already said about in some of those, because when you get around to watching those, you'll be like, yeah, I know, I watched it on your live stream. Whoa. Oh. I'm finding quite a lot of good rounded bits of bark in here that I didn't know I had. This one's got some house spider webbing on as well. I don't know how many are in here. When I discovered they moved in, there was one big female, and then when I did a little bit of, well, clearing out some of the old grubs and things in here, I noticed at least 2 more juveniles. So I don't even know how they got in here, to be honest with you, because nothing's ever been able to escape from here. So how the hell they got in is a mystery to me, unless they were just on some of the wood as babies or something when I first put it in. I have no idea. But there's quite a lot of free-range spiders living in the realm. I've got there's a false widow that's been living probably 1.5 feet away from my head when I go to bed at night. So all people that are really worried about the false widows in the UK, they're going to bite me, they're going to make me sick, I'm going to lose my arm. Well, I've been sleeping next to a mature female for probably near on a year. I had one that laid an egg sac in my light shade. The babies came out and dispersed as well. I had a male living when I had Komorebi there. So, yeah, just don't disturb them. They're not going to bite you. There's been no problems whatsoever. I've never had them woke up and had them crawling on my face or anything like that either. The females just stick to their home, stick to their web. The males will go for a bit more of a walkabout, but you're not going to get any trouble with females being near you. I'm not sure if I just binned a grub there. Oh, no, I didn't. There's something else. I want to say thank you as well to those that have come on here, because you are helping me build up my view time, as I mentioned before. Even though you're not really getting a decent live, you're just watching me bent over. That sounded wrong. clearing this out and talking rubbish. So I actually really appreciate those that have stayed here. And I will start reading the comments when I get closer to emptying this one. I have another Vivarium that I'm not going to deal with today. I really want to clear it out, but it's big and it's got stick insect eggs in the substrate. And it will take me a long time to go through those and rebury them in separate pots. It takes forever. I really can't be bothered to do that one. But I think doing all these others will be enough for today anyway, now that I've had a nice clear out. Oh, I need to get on my hands and knees in a minute to reach the back of this coffee table enclosure. Not looking forward to that. Another good chunk of rotten white wood there. Doesn't look like it from here, but it is. Trust me. Another curved bit of bark. Well, I've restocked on all my curved bits of bark just by clearing this out, which is pretty cool. I went to the woods yesterday and I didn't do a video on it, but I found Porcellio scaber isopods. And I collected some young ones, some adults. They're at my friend's house because a couple of the scaber were taking on very similar to larva morph, Porcellio scaber larva. They're just a couple of them have got, looks like they've got those genetics in, and the rest have an ever so slightly orange to red skirt. For a wild type scaber, I thought they were very pretty, and I'm hoping to get maybe some other morphs come out or more prominent in the ways of kind of larva-ish appearance. I thought larva was bred through people, so I don't know why there was one or two that looked like that, but we'll see. And I also found another one that I cannot remember the name of off the top of my head. Wasn't Armadillidium, it was something beginning with an O. One of your very common type, and I kept a few of those as well. Because I've noticed that some people have managed to get an orange morph out of them, which is actually really cool for one of the most common isopod species we can get here. So I kept some of them until I figure out how they can get the orange morph to appear. So I thought that would be pretty cool. Found a cool beetle. Anyone that's got me on Facebook, there's pictures on there. Little darkling beetle. I found a couple of spiders out there. Can't remember which ones I put the pictures up of. What else did I find? Found some grubs. We found some millipedes, both your normal kind of millipede. We found some flat millipedes as well, which was pretty cool. I actually kept a couple of the small millipedes and put them in with my scaber, Porcellio scaber, the UK wild type. And I'd quite like to go back to the woods again soon, not so much for finding isopod species, but for more cool bits of bark. Because I'm thinking as well, like, I don't know if you guys remember, but a while ago, instead of doing a full collection tour, I started a series where I was kind of almost rating everything I had as pets. I had quite a bit of backlash from that. Some people loved it, some people hated it, some people said that rating my animals was cruel, like, you know, they were based on personal keeping experience, so I don't know what the hell they were on about. But I stopped doing that just because it got a little bit annoying from some of the hate from it all, and it took quite a long time to edit. So what I might do down the line, because I still really don't like doing full collection tours, but what I might do is I might start doing a rebuild of every enclosure that I've got. Some of them I definitely like how they are, and I never really want to change them. For those, I can just feature the animals. But there are others that just look like clumps of mud now, where like a tarantula has kind of half-assed a burrow and then kicked all the substrate by the door, and then it just looks like a mound of basically cocoa fiber. There's no longer any sign of decoration. The water dish is probably about 3 buried in there. It's like, it just looks awful. So I've been kind of waiting for some of them to molt so I can put them in a larger enclosure and redesign it. I don't know, we'll see. But I don't know what you guys think of that, but doing like a majority redesign of enclosures, maybe not doing them one after video, but chucking them here and there when I can actually make something really, really cool, like maybe species specific style enclosures or something. I don't know, it'll take a lot of time, a lot of effort, but at least then it'll be like at least aesthetically pleasing to the eye looking at it in the round. I mean, I did go and get all those mantis den enclosures that cost me my entire life savings. So why not make them extra nice, considering they cost a bomb? Well, they don't cost a bomb, but they cost me a bomb because I got so many of them. I don't know. I really don't know what to do in regards to that. Oh, dusty substrate. Ugh. Oh, it's everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Oh, did you hear that screech? That was awful. Another thing I've been working on a lot is substrate blends. I am working on perfecting, as it were, certain isopod substrates. I've done some extra ingredients and things. We're just going to test them out. When I feel that they're successful, I'm going to look to work on Asian isopod substrate separate from general isopod substrate. And the more I research, the more complicated it gets. Like, for example, Cubaris, like rubber duckies and stuff. Not all Cubaris you buy, by the way, are actually Cubaris. They're a lot of them are unidentified and could be a completely different species. But a lot of the Cubaris that we do know, where we said, oh, they come from limestone caves, like your duckies, and so on. Originally, I thought limestone caves. So that's an alkaline soil because limestone is an alkaline, and having a full limestone cave must provide a very alkaline-based substrate. But then you look into guano, which is what you've got here, bat guano, and bat guano is quite acidic and becomes more acidic. I think, I'll have to double check that, more acidic over time, which means that would neutralize a lot of the alkaline within the limestone caves. And are these isopods more likely to be walking over the mountains of guano, which will actually be more acidic than them being on the underneath part, which is where the limestone will be of the limestone cave. So Cubaris are a very expensive species to practice substrate blends with. But I suppose trying a slightly more alkaline soil against a more acidic soil and seeing which population thrives better would give me a very good indicator. But I don't know, it's very complex, and they're such slow breeders that it's going to be difficult to judge that. But I was just thinking, this whole guano thing and how acidic guano is doesn't seem to be something that, at least that I've noticed online, that people have took into account. Or do I make a very alkaline based soil but add a lot more guano to it so that it would neutralize the same sort of way as it would in the wild? Maybe have the top layer of the substrate have a lot more guano on it rather than mixing it in. Who knows? Who knows? But as you can tell, I'm quite passionate about it, in figuring it out. And I will read back these comments later if anyone's had any thoughts on that. This is getting in my lungs now. You know, like the dusty parts of like cocoa fibers and topsoils and things. I can't remember what's in here. Right, you're not going to be able to see me for a minute because I've got to lean right to the back of this coffee table. So I am here though. Come on. Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter if I get every last hit of substrate, because I can just wipe some down with a cloth, and having slings on a tray, having a bit of substrate in there isn't going to make much difference. But I at least want the front part of it to look clean, if you know what I mean. Oh, this room is going to need a hoover. I can tell you that now. We've still got a decent amount of people sat in here, considering I'm not really being that entertaining. So thank you very much. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about as well. I'd like to maybe do a video on it or talk about it as a set thing in a live stream rather than just bringing it up in this one. But I want to talk more about my Patreon and when I eventually get YouTube membership back as well. Like, I've spoke to a few of my people that are already Disciples of the Realm, but I want to do different type of benefits now to what Patreon actually says that I do. Because when I got YouTube membership, a lot of people moved to there from Patreon because it was easier, it was more fun for them because they had a little symbol of my logo when they spoke in live streams. I did more live streams back then, so it was a lot more fun for people. And I think the smallest tier was a bit cheaper as well. And YouTube membership was good for me because it boosted my YouTube money, meaning I could withdraw it each month. Whereas without that, I would wait 2 or 3 months before YouTube would allow me to withdraw it because I haven't reached the threshold, right? So at the minute, I can't have membership back. So we're going to be just discussing the Patreon side of things. And I want to come up with some more ideas of initiative for people to want to be patrons of mine that aren't the normal. Like, when have been in the past patrons to other people, I really don't care about early access videos, right? It's a lovely gesture that a lot of people do. I don't care, right? I would rather watch it when everyone else is watching it and being able to see everyone else's comments and things like that on their videos than just watch it with the other people that pay the money each month. So that, to me, I don't really want to provide that. And I already have the Facebook group where sometimes when I'm active on there and not taking any breaks, I'll tell people what sort of videos are coming up anyway. So they're kind of getting a bit of early access information as it is. I can't be going out spending a ton of money for everyone because that then takes away the point of financial support. If you see what I mean. If I'm paying out the same as what I'm getting in, it just doesn't make any sense, you know, because I use that money for things like shows, for animal maintenance, for upgrading enclosures. I even do it for research. Like, I've had to use Patreon money to be able to learn about these substrates, and you think that doesn't cost a lot, but it does. When you're trying to research substrates and you're having to go through different blends, it is actually quite pricey. And these are things that are important to me because they're not just, you know, basic pet keeping, they're proper hobbyist and educational things that I want to learn about and share with you guys. So, you know, the money is beneficial, and the money that I get, the only time Patreon money has ever gone on myself is attending shows or equipment. Both things then benefit back out, you see. So like going to shows, people get to see me, we get to have a chat, I get to bring home stuff to show you on the channel. So although it's affording me to do that, in the long run you guys still get to benefit from it. Equipment, you get to benefit from better quality. You see what I mean? But I don't ever use it to go out on the beer. I don't ever use it to waste on anything at all. It all goes straight back into building this channel. So when I do read back on comments, if anyone has any other ideas that's not going to cost me a bomb and is not your basic YouTuber thing of early access videos, and you know, you can talk to me, because you guys can talk to me anyway, you know what I mean? I've got my private Facebook group for my disciples of the realm, my Patreons. So that's a perk that you get no matter what tier you're on. And I might even make all perks, all tiers as well, because if somebody wants to pay more, that's lovely, but they don't have to, if you see what I mean. Or maybe I will add extra benefits in because they are paying more. I don't know. It's a very complicated process. I like to think that I'm not a selfish person. I like to think that I'm not just taking your money and going. You know what I mean? I really try to put it all back in. But I do need to make more to continue this journey. I mean, could you imagine if I got 10 times the amount I was earning off Patreon now, I could lower my hours at work considerably, meaning you guys would actually go back to having more videos a week again. You would come back to having more live streams. You would get more animals to view. You'd get better looking realm. You'd get better quality videos. You see what I mean? So it would that's like the dream of it all. My dream isn't to be rich and famous. My dream is to have this at least as a part-time side of my job, so that I can cut hours in my day job and use everything from here to continue this for you people, because I'd absolutely love that. I'd absolutely love to be able to do this at least part-time. Well, I do it part-time, but you know what I mean, funding wise part-time. So yeah, I don't really know what I can offer without just spending everything I earn and chucking it back at people. So if anyone's got any ideas, that would be great. I am going to finish up here soon, so in a minute I will go to reading your comments and we'll have a chat. That's about as much as I want to do today in that. So, it's mostly cleared out, as you can see, and the vivariums that I've done are this one here, another one that's like this one but not this one. This is the big one that I don't want to do today, and there's another one somewhere. There's another one somewhere, I don't know where I've put that. And then the coffee table. Yeah, I'm knackered now, absolutely knackered. Right, so where are we here? I'm not going to scroll all the way back because that's going to be crazy. I see people mentioning Seas. For shows, I'm not going to Seas, but I am going to probably the Sunday of Entercon. So Entercon, I don't think it's going to have anywhere near the amount of traders as other ones. I don't want to put it down or anything, but I don't think it might be quite as spectacular. But there are going to be some decent people there, and I'm hoping to attend the Sunday show of Entercon. I'm not staying the full weekend because Taunton's only a train ride for me. If anyone's going to Entercon and you're going on a Sunday, make sure to say hi. I will have my daughter with me, though. This will be her first little show. So, yes, that should be fun. And then BTS I'm going to. I've already got that booked off. I've got the hotel booked in the Holiday Inn Leamington Spa. That is what I'm looking forward to. I am hoping and praying nothing goes wrong with allowing me to go there, because I will probably even cry hugging people that I haven't seen for a few years. So it will mean the world to me to meet up with the friends that I've made that I haven't been able to see since the pandemic hit. So yes, I don't know how long I've had my camera muted. I don't know if that's when I just picked it up then or what, but I was saying about Pac-Man frog, somebody mentioned. At the minute, I'm not looking to get one, but I would like one at some point in the future. Clock enclosure was mentioned. That's here. So we had the original one, and then I redesigned it. There's nothing living in there right now, but I've kept it because it was kind of cool. So we might well put something else in there at some point. It's a bit of a pain to open. That's the only problem with this one, because it's front opening. So if a web's made, you're destroying the web each time. The ventilation's also only on the back, although I could put some on the sides. But yeah, maybe we should revisit that clock enclosure when we find maybe a small species to live in there. Might be kind of cool. Well, if I did live stream purely for patrons, yeah, I could do that. I got no problem doing that. But I don't know if it's enough incentive for people. Favorite bug, I don't know. You know what, when most people ask me about my favorite thing or the strangest thing, I always revert back. It's not out, so you can't see it. It would be my Vinaigrine, my first ever Vinaigrine. So every other Vinaigrine I've ever got has not made it. I had a baby one that just didn't last that long. I had the tailless one that lasted about 3-4 months, and then I'm not sure what happened with that one. And I had another adult one that I bought that didn't last that long either. But this Vinaigrine down here, that enclosure, who I've rehomed about 5 times in my life, I've had that for years, absolute years. And I will be devastated when it dies. I never got fully attached to the other ones. And I still don't know why they died. But that one I've been so attached to that, like, I think one of the times when I rehoused it was just so that I could spend some time with it, kind of thing. Like, I absolutely love that Vinaigrine. Put a jumper in there. I don't know what we were looking at there. Was that one of the enclosures? I can't remember. I like jumping spiders though. But my last one actually I've got rid of the enclosure now. So the last one I had, I bought from Bug Box UK, and I had it. I think 3 of us bought one, and 2 of us ended up losing theirs, unfortunately. And mine was still going, and I thought, oh, you know what, this is pretty cool. Like, I'm doing something right if other people have not been so successful with this particular species of jumper. And then one day it vanished, and I mean actually vanished. So I don't know if it escaped or if it died, right? But I found no corpse in there, and I've seen no sign of, I mean, it's only little, but I've had no sign of it anywhere, and I couldn't see any way that it could escape from that enclosure that it had been in for months. But I never found a body, I never found a death curl, just nothing. So it's either living somewhere in here or it died. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Oh, the clock enclosure. Yeah, sorry. I could put a jumper in the clock enclosure, actually. That's a good idea. That light is going to probably be annoying you. Yeah, I might consider doing that, but they're so fragile. I'm really scared to lose another one. So yeah, I don't really know what to talk about now. I am going to end this soon because I've got to hoover up, and I can't be on a live stream with a hoover on, but I will show you this. I'm not sure if my camera's in the right place because I can't see, but one of my Balfouri is out. I don't know. I couldn't see if that was in the right place, but one of the Balfouri's out, and she's looking quite large. And I still don't know how many are left in there. There was 5. The most I've seen out at one time is 3, and that's been quite a while ago now. She was out the other day, and she's back out again now. I'm hoping she hasn't decided to get siblings. They have been well fed, so I highly doubt it. Let me just check that is not actually a mature male while I'm here. Nope. So that's not the reason why it's out and about then. Nope. So I'm pretty sure that's a female anyway. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. There's not much happening in the way of my tarantulas, to be honest with you. I've got all my arboreals have stayed hidden for ages. All my psalmopoeas have stayed hidden, like literally all of them. Apart from when I feed them, I see them. What else has been going on? Not a lot, really. My Panthobeteus ultramarinus has been acting weird lately. It's been out a lot more, and that one's been kind of scanning the enclosure a lot, but that's an adult female, so I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. Hopefully it's not going through the same thing that my Darlingi went through, or is still going through. That Darlingi is still alive and still acting like it's arboreal. It's down here, look. That is a Ceratodryas Darlingi, and that is where it lives. It stays there at all times. And the Ultramarinus, I don't know if you can see that, is hanging around the top and has been for a couple of days, but I'm hoping that's just because it's a bit warmer up there and it's been colder in here lately. So the higher you are, the warmer you are. This Incy was paired, and she's looking very large, but she was paired quite a while ago. And Incy's are pretty quick with sacks, and this one just never laid, and it's been quite a while. So fingers crossed that that's what's happening there. And not much else to show you tarantula wise. Darcy sending a Balfouri mares to Alex from Tarantula Haven. That's cool. I love Alex. How do you include clean enclosures with that much web? I don't really. I pick bits out. I add springtails to things, although I do need to touch up on that again because some of the more arid enclosures the springtails have died out on. But yeah, I don't really do that much cleaning to the enclosures, to be honest. I just kind of pick out old dead prey or anything that can mold, and that's about it. So yeah, I think I'm going to call this an end unless anybody else has anything else to ask me. There's not much to say about the way of Project Paradise apart from the fact that I've got another 900 odd eggs to sort through at the moment, and I've been giving most of those away to people in the UK. But it's quite hard. I don't want to just give them to anybody. I want people to agree to raise and pass on again, and that's quite hard to have that kind of trust in people, because a lot of people see something, they want it free, they take it, and that's why I don't want to always do it for free. Like some people say, if you want to help that hobby, always give it for free, and I'm like, it doesn't actually always help, because as soon as people see the word free, they want it, whether they can look after it, whether they can be bothered for it or not. They just want it because it's free. And they're less likely in certain cases to actually continue that on. Whereas if they've got to spend out a little bit of money, they're more likely to look after the actual animal because it's cost them. It's a sad world that we live in that happens to be the case, but that is the only reason that I ever would put any kind of charge on my over, is purely because I don't want people just taking it because it's free and not bothering. So my stick insects keep finding a way to drown themselves. In what way? How are they drowning themselves? The easiest thing to do is to mist them. If you mist them, apart from your first stage of nymphs, they're unlikely to drown in anything. They just have a misting, or you can dampen just like a kitchen towel bottom, and they can't drown in that. So instead they will just kind of suck the moisture from that. If you mist leaves, just make sure that the droplets are a fine mist. If you use a fine mister, there shouldn't be any droplets. done it again. Sorry, I keep clicking on that microphone. Oh, it's their bramble water thing. What you can do, right? Excuse this because these need changing tomorrow, so their bramble is a bit skanky, right? So if you look here, you see this? I don't know if you saw, but the tub that they've got their food plant in has got tissue around the edge, so that absorbs it. They can drink from it, but you change that every few days because otherwise you can get mold. There's a baby here, and they can't fall in then. So this is a baby. Excuse the state of my hands, I've been doing all that substrate. Can't see it properly, but I don't want them to start escaping, so in you go. No one's escaped, have they? No, but we've got quite a lot of babies in that tank at the moment. Oh my goodness, we have a baby in another tank. Oh, I don't want to show you these because I've done a video on these. It's going to come out soon. Is that the right baby? Yes, it is. Cool. So I've got baby hatching in another tank. That's pretty awesome. Cool. But none in the tank that I want. There's one species I've got are just not hatching right now, and it's really bothering me. What do I keep in there? The one with the babies is I can never pronounce this quite right. Terralina distinctissima. Terraline. It's one of those awkward ones that I've never heard anyone else pronounce. So, right, what's going on in here? Where? One second, guys. Extatsoma tiaratum, there you go, male and female. Ooh, on an old bit of bramble. She's starting to cling on to me now, so I'm going to put that branch in. That's an old piece that I left the branch in because they're heavy, and when I changed her food plant last time, she did not want to get off that branch, and I didn't want her to fall. So I just left the branch in. And yeah, there's not much else to show you, really. Right, this will be dodgy. Oh, no, no. Oh. Can you... where's my hand? You see that one there? That one there is a subadult of a species that I will do a video on at some point that has the most potent spray of any stick insect that I know of. Pretty much all that I know of. So that's the one with the spray that will mess you up if you're not careful. And that's why I was really jittery with the thing, because if she decided, although that was sub-adult, there was an adult just above, and if that adult was disturbed and shot me in the face, this live stream would have ended very badly. Lycomons are beautiful, they are. I just didn't do it this generation, but mine have the genetics to take on that coloration. But I just fancied some brown ones again, because their mother was lichen form. And then I thought, I hadn't had, my first ever stick insect was an Extatsoma tiaratum, and it was a plain brown one. So I wanted to raise these as brown, and then the next ones I'll try and raise for that morph as well. Word of advice though, don't ever buy eggs as lichen form, by the way. There's a lot of eBay sellers that are putting out saying Extatsoma tiaratum lichen morph over, and they're charging through the roof. Never buy that, because that's a lie. they all have, or most have, the genetics to be able to take on that morph. But there's no such thing as Lycanmorph over. That's just babies, and it's all about how you keep them in their environment. So if you keep them in the wrong environment and their parents were Lycan, they'll turn out like mine, brown, kept in a standard environment. If I change that environment, they would then take on that morph. So just be really cautious about that. And if you buy nymphs of Lycanmorph, you have to still have the environment perfect, otherwise they'll molt back out brown. So just because you have one doesn't mean it will stay that coloration. That's something you really have to bear in mind. Bigger enclosure, I don't even know what these are, 60 centimeters by 40 or something, I think these are. Will they cause temporary blindness? Oh, the ones with the spray, yes they would, yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be cool. Right, I need to get a coffee now, guys, and I need to hoover up in here. But thank you all for joining my live stream, even though it probably wasn't very entertaining for you. But it was nice to talk to you guys again. And that light is really annoying me. It was lovely to talk to you guys again. Thank you for coming on and helping me build up some hours again for view time. Don't know what it will be on. We'll have a look afterwards. Oh, and one last thing before I go. Those of you wanting to hear about Fatal Fangs 4, I've spoken to Amy recently. Not going into details. It is happening. You just need to bear with us. There's like situations that are with me that are causing delays, but then there's also situations her end as well, and we can't quite balance that time when things are good for her to also be good for me. So it's kind of like a bit awkward. So it is all happening. We still do have the odd quick chat. Making anything happen yet, because we both need to know that we're secure for time once we get the ball rolling, because once the ball's rolling, we have to keep on top of it. And until we're both in that right place to do that in our lives, then we will start. So don't think we're putting it off because we're lazy. We just both need the right mind frame and time scale before we can start the ball rolling, because the worst thing you want is to have people sign up to it and then wait another 4 months because something's happened with us. You know what I mean? So we need to both be ready before we start taking names and things. So there we go. That's all the updates I think I have for you. I will speak to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. And again, massive thank you to the Disciples of the Realm for supporting me financially and getting me through this, because it's made a massive difference. Massive difference. Wouldn't even been able to attend the BTS if it wasn't for you guys. So I owe you everything. So thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.